Hi guys, my name is Reynolds Nyango and I've been living in Poland for 8 years. If you're living in Poland and you're dreaming of getting your permanent residency, which is known better for foreigners as the EU long-term permit or rather the citizenship, you know that there is a very big hurdle in the name of the Polish state language exam. So in this, today I'm kicking off a series to help you crash this exam. And in this first video, we are going to break down the structure, the timing, and the scoring so that you know exactly what you're up against. I'm just going to remind, or rather let you people know that I myself have passed the B2 level state language exam. I passed this exam in November last year, and I'm familiar with both the B1 and B2 state language exam structures. I'm familiar with the structure, with the examination criteria, as well as with the tips and tricks required to pass these examinations. So let's dive in. Okay, so before we begin, I would like to hope that you guys can see my screen, if it's visible. So this website, this is going to be your best friend. This website is known as certificate polski.pl. So certificate polish.pl. So you search for this website, and this is the state website that entails everything, including the places where you can take the exam, the structure of the exam, the dates when the exams are going to be conducted, as well as many other details concerning this exam. As you can see on the left-hand side, we have the logo, and this is the logo for the examination body, the state language examination Polski. A body in Poland is called egzamini certyfikatowe z języka polskiego, jako obcego, which means state language exams in Polish as a foreign language. Now, we are going to look at the structure of the B1 state exam. So when you come here, you have the examiner here. So you have details such as how to register for the exam, who can pass the exam structure, the payments for the exams, examples, tests from previous years, as well as many other details that I will present to you in subsequent videos. But for this video, as I mentioned before, we're going to concentrate on the structure of the exam, the structure of the B1 exam. So here you come and you click on Struktura egzaminu, as it's known is in Polish. And then if you are you're preparing to take the B1 exam, you come here and you see this. This is the B1 dorosli, which means B1 adults. On the same website, you can see many other levels of the exams. You have A1 adults, A2, B2, C1, C2, but we're gonna concentrate on B1 adults. So this is the structure of the exam. The exam consists of a listening part, a reading part. So reading part, which is called as rozumienie tekstów pisanych. We're going to have a grammar part in Polish known as poprawność gramatyczna, and also we are going to have a writing part, which is the essay writing, known in Polish as wypowiedź pisemna, opisanie. So at the end of the exam, you also have a speaking part, which runs for 190 minutes. It's written here as czas trwania egzaminu pisemnego, nie dłużej niż 190 minut. So this is the time for the period for the speaking exam and this is the period for the writing exam, and it takes 190 minutes. There is I apologize for the error before. So this is the part for the speaking exam. The speaking exam takes not more than 15 minutes. czas trwania egzaminu ustnego. So this is 15 minutes. Now, what is the scoring criteria? So the scoring criteria for this examination is that you must obtain 50% in every section of the exam. So, co najmniej 50% punktów z każdej części egzaminu, meaning that you must obtain 50% in the listening part, rozumienie ze słuchu, 50% in rozumienie tekstów pisanych, that is the reading part, 50%, at least 50% in grammar part, 50% in writing part, and as well as at least 50% in the spoken or egzamin ustny. Now, so this if you scroll down, you can see that there are many details that are written in Polish as well here, and here we can see that, like, in this listening part, and please guys pay attention to this, in this listening part you have audio that is played either once or 2 times. So during the audio you have to select the correct answer from a given list of options. You can either have multiple choice, or you may be having, like, you might be required to fill a closed test but with options available. So you must listen keenly and at the same time fulfill the questions according to the requirements. Moving on to the speaking part, to the reading part, which is known as rozumienie tekstu pisanych. So this also involves reading. So here you're getting text, you might get a closed test, and you have to read. You have to read like a section of a test and answer the questions based on that test. You have taken English exams before, so I believe you're familiar with it. The structure is almost similar to the exams that you have taken in IELTS, as well as other examinations that you had in high school. Because this exam, remember guys, it is meant to be close to the level of a high school examination, or rather, the B1 exam is close to the level of an 8th grade examination, but it's only that it's in Polish. So you have closed tests, your reading tests, you're supposed to answer them, you're supposed to answer according to the text that you have been given, but you have multiple choices. You may have like a closed test with spaces in between. You're supposed to fill it. You may have a table. You probably get a table, but we'll look into that in the subsequent section of this video, as well as other videos. Now, moving on to the grammar part, I spoke about the grammar. So this is as grammar is known, you're supposed to select the correct option. You're given task to select the correct format of a word, and also to write sentences, to correct sentence that may have been incorrectly written. And then the final part is the essay part. So writing is also known as pisanie. So you may get in pisanie, you have 2 tasks, which we will see as well. You have the first task, which is a short task. You might be invited to write an invitation letter to a friend. You might be invited to write ogłoszenie. Ogłoszenie is basically an advertisement for when you want a service or when you want to buy something. The same thing that you can see on Facebook Marketplace. You have like when you advertise that you want to sell your iPhone, you want to sell your bicycle. So this is a type of ogłoszenia. Or sometimes you can also write an ogłoszenia based on the fact that you are trying to buy an item that has been listed on an advertising website. So the first task is usually a short task. So ogłoszenia, it can be an invitation to a wedding, it can be a życzenia, a letter to wish your loved one well, or an old person. Yeah, and then the second part of the test is usually a longer part. But in the B1, it can be something like an argumentative task. It can be an essay. It can be a reclama, which means you're advertising services, but you're supposed to write, I think, a good number of words. But we will see this later in a subsequent videos. And as well, finally we have the examin ustny, which is a spoken exam, which we will also talk about. Now, let's look at, so in this same website, guys, you have you can have you go here and then you have przykładowe test. Polish, in English, this means is translated to example. So tests from the previous years. The same thing you have it here. Test egzaminacyjny z poprzednich lat. So examination task from all the previous years. So we're going to start with przykładowe testy. In przykładowe testy, and you'll come to this link under the same domain, and you have, we are interested in B1. So here you have 2017, 2019, 2020, and this is the arkusz egzaminacyjny. So this is a test. This is the plik dźwiękowy, is the audio that you will listen to for the first task, the listening task, and as well as this is the transcription for the audio and the marking scheme. So for this video, we are gonna pick the year 2019. I already have this open on a different tab. When you open this, so basically you click on this, you open, you have the B1 test, and guys, this is where the magic happens. So this is the examination itself. We will start from the beginning, as I believe that I had already looked through it, and we'll get, so you get this paper, and we're going to start with, I'm going to show you how it looks like from a distance. You can also open this on your website and have a look at it. So here you got this B1, it starts with the listening part. Rozumienie zasłuchu. You're told that the czas is 25 minut, which means 25 minutes. And I talked about how the tasks. So basically, you get this paper and an audio is played in the examination room. So, for example, for the first task, be aware, keep in mind that this audio is played only once, and you're supposed to listen to the audio and select the correct answers for all these questions. The audio is played chronologically, so you first listen to the audio as you select the correct answer. You move on to the next audio. The second audio for the second task under the listening part is played 2 times, 2 razy. So it's going to be played for the first time, and you mark whether something is true or false. Tak czy nie, basically. You listen for the first time, and then for the second time, the audio will be played again, and then you keep selecting. Now, the third task as well, we have the audio being played 2 times, and this same format, you must select the correct answer. I would advise, before we look at the details of this part in a different video, I would advise you that when you're listening to the audio, you should already begin to select the correct answers so that you do not waste time or you do not lose valuable information. Same goes for the third video. Here you're supposed to select here. Okay, so the fourth task is basically selecting the person or the person or the item that is related to what is being spoken. So if you, for example, A saying that movie, że bardzo ważne jest słuchanie partnera. So you listen to the person who say this. So this is an audio about different people speaking about they're speaking about business issues. They're speaking about a business topic. So different people speaking about. This audio is played at the same time, so one after the other. So you have person 1, 2, 3, and 4. Apologize for this. So you listen to the person and you look for the person who actually said this. So if person 3 say that mówi, że bardzo ważne jest słuchanie partnera, you have to choose person 2. The same goes for the rest of the tasks. Now we are looking at the I believe this is the final task for the listening part. Yeah, so we also you also get another audio which will be played 2 times, as is the norm. From the 2nd to the 5th task, you listen to the audio and you choose what is related to the picture. But we will look at this too. The second part of the examination is the rozumienie tekstu pisane, which is the reading and picking the correct answers. And this, we also have 5 zadań, which means 5 questions. The total number of time assigned to all the questions is 45 minutes. So you have to read this task. You read it and you select the correct answer based on that. Same for this closed test, you have to read it and select whether something is true or false. You have to select whether this statement is true or false based on the text. The third question, we have to also look for the rozpiszę text zgodnie z kodem do posunięcia z niego fragmenty. Oh, so you have to read the text and pick the missing part of the test. So the best answer or the missing part of the test. So think of it as reading a newspaper and part of an article has been removed. So you have to read through the whole text and pick the right option for this. Then the fourth task is basically matching. The fourth task can be a conversation. So you match. For example, you match number 1 to B. So it could be like an interview. Someone is asking you, hey, what's your name? And my name is this and that. So you have to pick this from the second column. You have the first column and the second column. So you have to match. It's like mix and match. And you write your answers here. The fifth part is basically also picking the right answer, the appropriate answers. Let's move on quickly to the grammar part. The grammar part is 45 minutes. We're going to have a look at this grammar. I know it's a very challenging topic for many of you. When people hear grammar, they get like Polish grammar. They dread this, but trust me, someone who has done this exam and someone who's been learning Polish over the years, you can do it, and it's not actually very difficult. It is doable. It is something that you can prepare for, and you can actually score the highest points if you're ready. So look at this. I don't want to scare you guys from the past videos about the grammar, but for the same task you have 45 minutes, and for grammar you have 8 tasks. Yeah, you have 8 tasks and you have 45 minutes for that. Then we have the writing part. The writing part is 1 hour 15 minutes. So after the 1 hour 15 minutes, the tests will be taken. So in the writing part, you have zestaw pierwszy, zestaw drugi, and zestaw trzeci. So zestaw basically means like a group of tasks. So every zestaw has a short task and a long task. Short task and a long task. So you have to pick one zestaw. For example, when you start the exam, you have to pick this one. You must pick. If you pick zestaw 1, you must do all the tasks in that zestaw, in that group. So you cannot pick the step one, do A and then do B. No, you're not allowed to mix, because if you mix, they will only check, the examiners will only check the first task that you have done, and that's it. So you must pick the task that you think is easy or you think that you can do. And remember your tasks that you have, so you have the task here, the question, what you must do, how you must write it, what you must write, and then number of words, so 30 words. So you can either, I'll talk about the nitty gritties related to how to write this in other more detailed videos. You have 170 words as well. So as I mentioned before, earlier in the video, is that you can write a question here. This is an advertisement, a short advertisement about something. This is a short. Organizuje pan imprezę urodzinową w swoim mieszkaniu dla wielu gości. Hałas może przykazać pani sąsiadom. Dlatego chce pani poinformować ich o tym wydarzeniu. Proszę napisać ogłoszenie, które powiesi w windzie. So this basically means that you you're preparing a birthday party in your apartment, because you live in Poland, you live in apartment blocks. So, and you want to write an advertisement that there will be noise during the party. So you just want to warn your neighbors so they are not like, spooked, or they do not call the police on you. So this is basically the task. And then the second one would be you're writing a letter to your friend. Oh, you're writing, proszę napisać list do przyjaciółki, przyjaciela z Polski, w którym opowie pan o swoim pobycie. So you are on holiday in your home country, be from Ethiopia, Nigeria, the Philippines, and you're writing, you want to write a letter to your old school letter to your friend from Poland, and you want to tell him or her about your stay in your home country, how you're enjoying your holiday in your home country. The same goes for the other ones. You've got like the short task and the long task. This can here the short task is an email, an invitation email. This is an opinion, an essay with an opinion, which is a long task, 160 words. Here you're writing a życzenia. Życzenia is a letter, or rather a small piece of text wishing a friend, a family member well. And then here you're writing a characteristic, you're describing characteristica. So you're describing someone, you're describing your in this case, you're describing your manager at work, where you work. So this is how the arkush looks like. In the writing part, this is where you write your your essays, past tasks. So you have to write number one, zestaw jeden, zestaw pierwszy, imię, nazwisko zdającego, so your name and surname, this, A, and you start writing. Then B, you must not make the tasks. We'll talk about, I will make a separate video about the spoken part, because this requires a bit of practice. But in the spoken part, if you go quickly through it, you also have two tasks where you have you have three tasks where you have to describe a picture, the first task, then you have to do a monologue, and then the final one is I think it's role playing. Yeah, sytuacja komunikacyjna. If I remember well, for the B1, this is role playing. I do look at this. As you can see, there's a picture. You have to describe it. Then you have to do a monologue for the second task, and then you have to role play. Role playing means that you can examiner can pretend to be, say, a police officer. Then you're someone who's reporting a crime. So you pretend to be an eyewitness to a crime, and then the examiner will pretend to be a police officer. You have to basically engage in a dialogue, a role playing situation. Yep. So I will end this video for now because I don't want to make this video too long. I will prepare another video going into details of how to prepare for the exam, where to get the right material, and the tips and tricks that are required to pass each and every section and to get the required 50% pass